This track has played host to the Austrian Grand Prix for several years now. There was also a Styrian Grand Prix in there, and you go back many years to the old Österreich ring. This has always been an area rich in motorsport. This is qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. And here is the track, very fast in sector number 1 before that tight turn into turn 2. Sector 2, also minimal corners. That's the name of the game around this entire circuit. The McLaren duo leads the Drivers' Championship and appropriately leads the Constructors as well. 28 points ahead of Ferrari, who are looking to make a dent at this point in the season as they're starting to run out of races. By the way, hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. Alexander Albon gets us started in our first look at that Sector 1, just 6 seconds to eclipse it. Then you wind through the inner portions of this track before opening it back up. This fast right-hander right here over the line could be very tricky in the race. 16.67 is the first time, and we will probably see that come down over the course of this one. 16.58, Sainz goes marginally quicker. Pierre Gasly comes out. This middle portion of the track is also a truncated version of what was the original middle portion of the Österreich ring. A long, flowing circuit, dangerous. Added a chicane in there to try to slow them down through Niki Lauda curve. And eventually we got this version of the circuit, which has gone by many names. We know it as the Red Bull Ring, that eponymous bull under the arch, the statue in the middle, right here through the middle sectors. Gabriel Bortoleto is losing time as the Williams have slotted ahead of both Alpines. Bortoleto goes in between Gasly and Colapinto. Nico Hülkenberg quicker in sector number 2. Then it opens up a bit in 3 until that turn. You see Hülkenberg angle toward the inside of the start-finish line. Well, in this case, the finish line in this iteration. Isaac Adjar very close to that P1 spot through the first 2 sectors and claims it outright after sector number 3. This is Q1, by the way. All marbles will go out and set a time. At the end of Q1, the bottom 5 are eliminated. They slot into those last 5 grid positions. Times wiped off the board. We do it all again in Q2. And after Q2, the bottom 5 of that one are eliminated, leaving us with just the top 10 to decide in Q3. Yuki Tsunoda, a good qualifying, finally, sees the Red Bull up in P1 for now, but Verstappen going quicker and tops the time sheets. We expect that from a driver who has won here 4 times. Esteban Ocon, a great race last time out in the Marble Predictor video, moved up to 3rd in the championship standings. Could we have a surprise on our hands the farther we get into this season? Ollie Behrman goes 4th, 2nd and 4th for Haas. Pretty darn good thus far. We're through 12 marbles. Alonso is lucky number 13 and driver number 14. And that one puts Alonso in 2nd, 17 hundredths off of Max Verstappen. That looks very comfortable to make it into Q2. Lance Stroll, 5th, 16.36. Times are very tight. Last year's winner of the actual Grand Prix, George Russell, is faster through each of the 3 sectors and by nearly 0.4 of a second has cleared Verstappen at the head of the field. What can teammate Kimi Antonelli do? Tighter line into the opening of that turn. Hit the apex and lost a bit of time. Antonelli only good enough for 9th. Leclerc in the Ferrari goes 5th, 16.28. Hamilton, last one here back in 2016, 9 years ago. And goes into 5th. Oscar Piastri, 16 hundredths off through sector 1, another 0.2 in the middle. Over the line here in 7th, that is safe. Hülkenberg and Lawson are down there toward the bottom, and it's Lawson sitting on the bubble right now as the final runner is on the course. Lando Norris is eliminated. Norris could not do it. So it's Albon, Norris, Gasly, Bortoleto, and Colapinto eliminated in Q1. What a surprise, and what happened there for Lando Norris? McLaren trying to hold on to the top spot in the Constructors' Championship. And Piastri and Norris locked in a battle for the Individual Drivers' Championship as well. That will not help. Piastri has some breathing room now, but let's see where that marble qualifies. A good result in Q1 only means you are moving on to Q2. It's not a guarantee of a good lap here. Lawson and Hulkenberg, the first two out. Look at the speed those marbles carry. As they streak down toward turn 3, you had that long straight, turn 2, and then another long straight. Antonelli, 0.3 up. Through the middle, purple in sector number 3. That means fastest of everyone so far. And we got a 15.92, the fastest time. How far into the 15s will we go? Isaac Ajar, 0.7 off. Slowest of the 5. Ollie Behrman, 0.3 faster in the middle sector. Second in the Haas. Lance Stroll works through the middle of this track. Rauch, Wirth, Rindt, Red Bull, over the line, and 7th and last. Yuki Tsunoda saw the top of the pylon last time out briefly in Q1 and lost half a second here in the middle sector. Not what Tsunoda needed. You wondered if the tide was turning and maybe Yuki could be up there in the fight, and instead is the slowest of the 8 so far. Oscar Piastri in the sole McLaren, 3rd and safe for now. Given the number of marbles left, Piastri will be making it. Leclerc displaces the papaya marble in 3rd. Hamilton lost 0.3 so far, needs to pick it up in the last sector, goes 4th. Tsunoda is out. Esteban Ocon needs a good result here to continue that march that started last race and goes up into 4th, knocks out Stroll. The RB of Ajar is on the bubble in 10th right now as Fernando Alonso. 1 turn left, 7th. Ajar is out. Nico Hulkenberg now. On the bubble, Liam Lawson is next up in 9th. Verstappen going very quick here. And first. 15.74. Russell in the other Mercedes. Already lost over half a second. It's not going to happen for Russell, but can that marble advance? No! Last year's winner is out. Shocks in both Q1 and Q2. And that leaves us with just 10 marbles. Off we go with Liam Lawson. My goodness, the fans are shocked. At least among the Red Bull camp and Mercedes. I think Red Bull, I would say that they are shocked with Tsunoda's exit, but at this point they might be used to it. Lawson and Sainz will be the first 2 out, and that is the order in which they will finish. Fernando Alonso has not been a winner here. Has raced back when it was the A1 ring and the Red Bull ring. Alonso 2nd, Piastri, purple in the middle sector. Very measured through that final few turns, and Piastri just 0.03 of a second off of Liam Lawson. Lewis Hamilton got that win back in 2016. It was one of 4 straight wins for Mercedes. Rosberg did it twice, Hamilton, and then Bottas. Bottas, a 2-time winner here. Of course, since then, we've added George Russell to the win column for Mercedes. So Hamilton still sitting at the top of the chart. Ocon goes 4th, and now it is Leclerc. Winner back in 2022. And Charles Leclerc goes up into 4th with the purple sector. Ollie Behrman now with just a few marbles left to run. Lost half a second in the first sector, which is pretty amazing when you think about how few turns there are. Commitment into these turns. There's not very many of them, so you have to make every single one of them count. Kimi Antonelli is doing just that, trending very well right now. and goes first. Hamilton's replacement at Mercedes has replaced him in P1. And now it all comes down to Max Verstappen. This is going to be very tight over the final turn, and Verstappen can't do it. Second for the Dutchman. Kimi Antonelli will start on pole in the Styrian Hills. 1/100th of a second in front of Verstappen, 5/100ths ahead of Hamilton, 7/100ths ahead of Lawson. Look at the spread of this field. The times are incredibly tight. Who knows how this race will unfold tomorrow? My goodness, the first trip to the Marbula 1 style version of the Red Bull Ring, and it might have a treat in store for us yet to come.